Everyone has to live somewhere, and everyone has to invest their money someplace. So what happens when where you live meets up with where your money is invested? Hello, real estate. Welcome back to Big Money Real Estate. I'm Elise Klink. Here's your daily update. There are 3 quick tips I want you to know if you're going to make a really smart real estate investment. Number 1, look for properties where you can build in value. It seems obvious. I published a story on my Money Watch blog about the properties you can purchase for $40,000 or about the price of a luxury car or a cheap luxury car. These homes aren't necessarily in moving condition, but they're not falling down either. The goal is to find property that costs less than everything else in the neighborhood, even after you make the required repairs. In other words, let's say you purchase a home for $100,000 when everything else in the neighborhood that's not a distressed property is priced at $200,000. Let's say your property needs $60,000 worth of work. When you add that amount to the purchase price, you're still winding up with a property that has some sort of profit margin. And yes, folks, this is all about profit. You can either flip it or you can hold it for the long run, renting out the property to pay expenses and generate positive cash flow. Here's number 2. Buy a multi-unit property. I've known dozens, maybe even hundreds of people who have bought multi-unit properties over the years, lived in one of the units, and used the remaining units to defray their cost of living and leverage up their investment. How does this work? Let's say you buy a 4-unit building for $500,000. Each unit has 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. If you live in one of the units, well, that allows you to rent out the other 3 apartments. If each of those brings in, say, $1,500 a month, and this, of course, these numbers are going to depend where you live and where you're buying this place, that's $4,500 per month in income that the property is generating, or $54,000 a year. Now, the property may have $10,000 in real estate taxes, and that would leave you with $44,000 to put towards the mortgage. And that amount will certainly cover the mortgage and any upkeep that the property requires. The goal, again, is to find real estate that will allow you to maximize the leverage on your investment. So if you could only afford to spend $150,000 on a single-family property, but can actually afford a $450,000 property that generates some income, you may be better off buying the larger property, although it seems like you're putting so much more on the hook. On a net basis, and let me be really clear about this, you might make more money than with a single-family property appreciating at the same rate, and you may have a bigger tax deduction and tax benefits over time. Here's tip number 3. Do you own a small business? Consider buying your building rather than renting an office. If your business is relatively steady and profitable, right, so it's not really growing and changing like crazy, you may want to look into buying a building that you can use as an office rather than moving to rent a bigger office. A lot of positives here. By purchasing a building, you'll be able to use your rent to pay down your mortgage and build equity in the property. Now, your accountant might even suggest that you own the building personally and have the company sign a lease, renting it from you to maximize tax opportunities. If you're growing, you could purchase a bigger property than you might need now and rent out the other part of the building until you're ready to move into it. A friend of mine did that in Florida. If your business outgrows the whole property, then you can just rent it to someone else or divide the space and rent it to someone else's. And actually, I like that model where you and a different business are leveraging off each other, because that gives you even more opportunities. Either you're going to grow and take over the whole space, or they're going to grow and take over the whole space. You move out, you find another tenant, they move out and you find another tenant. So there's 4 different ways that this could work out. Now, there are plenty of ways to profit from the purchase of investment real estate. But I think the time to buy is now, because interest rates are still at historic lows and real estate values are still not back to where they were in their highs back in 2004, 5, and 6. For more real estate investing basics, I want you to check out my new webinar and ebook series. It's called Intentional Investor: How to Be Wildly Successful in Real Estate. And if you want to go down this path, you must get this. It is absolutely going to give you the information you need to get going. Thanks for watching this episode of Big Money Real Estate. Send me your real estate investing questions on Twitter and Facebook. Be sure to share this video with everyone you know on social media. Until next time, I'm Elise Klink.